Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Are you newly single and having a hard time being back on the dating scene? Or have you been dating a while and you're just not getting good results? Well, if you answered yes to any of these questions, I want you to pay close attention because in this video, you're going to learn the 5 biggest first date mistakes that most single women make. Now, these 5 things, if you are doing them, will actually make it much harder to get a guy want to ask you out again for that second date. Now, I also encourage you to watch this video until the very end so that you can get the information on how to receive a free copy of my special report, which is filled with more than 2 dozen real-life, practical, proven tips and strategies that will help you go from dating mess to dating success. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that most single women make on the first date. Mistake number 1, talking about your ex. See, there is a time and place to talk about your ex, but it's not on the first date. And the reason for that is because for most women, one of 2 things happens. Is there still some unresolved hurt, anger, or resentment towards their ex? And so when you talk about that on the first date, that tells your date that, you know what, you're not over him. You still have some stuff that needs to be healed. And you're not ready to be in a relationship with someone else when you still have these unresolved feelings. And the second reason is that very often women are still in love with their ex, or they still have some unresolved emotional feelings where they still want to be with their ex. And if a guy sees that, you're on your date and you talk about how your ex did this and how he was wonderful and what a great kisser, what a great lover, what a great provider, all the things you did together. Well, then the guy says, you know what? You're not over him. You're still in love with him. Even though you say you're not, you still are. And what that tells a guy is that there's no room for him in your heart because you can't have room in your heart for your ex and this new guy who's showing up in your life. So there is a time where you can talk about your ex, and that is when you have closure. When you're at that point where you're like, you know what? I had this relationship. I'm grateful for it. Ultimately realized he wasn't the right guy for me. And so we both moved on. If you can do that, then it's absolutely okay to talk about your ex on the first date. But if you can't, be in that place, do yourself and your date a favor. Do not bring him up. Save it for another day. So the second biggest mistake that most single women make on a first date is alcohol. See, drinking too much. So my suggestion is if you're on a date, have 1 to 2 drinks max. The reason being, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some insight into the male mind. When guys hit puberty, they get this little book, okay? And in that book, it says, if you want to get into a woman's pants, give her alcohol. Because what happens is a woman says, no, I don't want to drink, and she'll have a drink, and then she'll have another drink, and then she'll start to loosen up. She'll start to relax, and then a guy starts nibbling on your ear. He starts kissing you, telling you all those sweet nothings that you want to hear that build you up. And the next thing you know, your pants are on the floor. Okay? I'm telling you this because this is how it works. So you have to do yourself a favor. Don't put yourself in position to be taken advantage of, to be vulnerable. So what you want to do is tell yourself before that date, I'm going to have 1 to 2 drinks max. It's okay to be social. It's okay if you have a glass of wine, a beer, or whatever your alcohol of choice is. But tell yourself, based on knowing yourself, that this is my limit. I can't have 1 to 2 because if I go more than that, I'm going to be in danger. See, I say alcohol is a lot like a bag of potato chips. 1 chip, 2 chip, fine. But if you do more than that, you're in the bag, literally. And you don't want to be in the bag when it comes to alcohol and a first date. The third biggest mistake that most single women make on a first date is pretending to be someone that they're not. See, if you're going to be on a first date, you don't want to say or do anything that paints a picture that you are someone other than you are. And here's the mentality behind it, is that, you know, if I say this or if I do this, then he's going to like me. He's going to want to be with me. And that's the wrong approach. You want to show up from the first date, from the first phone call and say, this is who I am. This is what I love. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. And if you can't like that about me, you can't accept that about me, well, then you're simply the wrong guy. So going in with the mentality of, I've got to say this or I got to do this to make him like me is very dangerous, because what you're doing is you're giving a guy a false impression. You're making him like and ultimately fall in love with your representative, because then you're going to get into a relationship and then you're going to say, you know what, I don't really like to do that, or I don't want to do that. And he's going to go, but wait a minute, that's not the woman that I originally met, that I originally liked. So don't misrepresent yourself. It's a big, big error in judgment, and it will never lead to the relationship that you're ultimately looking for. Fourth biggest mistake that most single women make on the first date is kissing. Now, hear me out. When I say kissing, what I'm talking about is that tonsil hockey, deep tongue, French, passionate kissing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about at the end of the date, you really like a guy, you want to show him that you're interested in him, you want to see him again, give him a nice peck on the cheek. Nothing wrong with that. It's very respectful, it's very classy. However, when you just, on the first date, this guy you barely know, and you just start a sloppy makeout session with him, or you're getting yourself in some troubled waters because you're portraying yourself in a certain way where he's going to realize that, you know what? I don't know if this is really the kind of person that I want to have a relationship with. I'll fool around, and I'll see what I can get, but do I really want to have a relationship with this person? And I know you can't understand that, but trust me, I'm a guy. That's how it works. So big no-no is deep tongue, tonsil hockey, sloppy French kissing. Not good on the first date. Make him wait a little bit more to earn that. The fifth and last mistake is having sex on the first date. Now, we shouldn't have to talk about this. It should be kind of obvious, but we need to, because I see so many women who go out on the first date where there's this chemistry, there's this attraction, and they don't mean to at all. But next thing you know, they wind up in bed. And then what happens? The guy disappears. And then they don't understand why, because they had this great connection, this great chemistry. And they never took the opportunity to see if this was a guy who was even looking for a relationship. Even though he was saying he wasn't, because again, some guys lie. So you want to protect yourself. And the best way to protect yourself is to not have sex on the first date. You have to look at your vagina like the gold medal. Okay? A guy doesn't just show up and then get the gold medal. He doesn't get the prize. He's got to put in the work. He's got to put in the effort. He has to earn that prize, because when he does, he's going to appreciate it so much more, because that's what a man does. So you have to understand is that if you're looking to have a good, solid, long-lasting, and fulfilling relationship, it is vital, vital, that you do not jump into bed on the first date. Make a guy wait. Okay, so let's review the 5 big no-nos for a first date. Number 1, do not talk about your ex. Number 2, do not have more than 1 to 2 drinks max. Number 3, do not pretend to be someone you're not. Number 4, no kissing on the lips, no tonsil hockey. And number 5, do not have sex. Now, if you like these tips and you want some more, I invite you to scroll down to the box below this video and download my special report, The ABCs of Smarter Dating, 26 tips and strategies to improve your love life. It's my gift to you simply for watching this video and being part of our GPS for Love YouTube community. If you like this video and you find it helpful, hit the like button below, share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe. Now, if you have any questions or comments, make sure to post those below. I love hearing from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.